Hi, I'm LeAnna Beat. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, PenFed Realty, longest name. But I work at the East office, and once a week they let me come in here and do a little TV segment on real estate. And today we have Bob Kovar. He's from the Sedgwick County Appraiser's office. And if you want to know why your appraisal went higher, call Bob. And now here's Bob to tell us why this happened.
Well, yeah, we're a busy time right now. That's for sure.
So once a year we get a report that says pay your taxes.
Correct.
And that's usually November, and the taxes are due in December.
Correct.
And we can easily pay those online now, which is nice.
Correct.
Thank you.
That is very nice.
And then this time of year they say you get another report in your mail that says your house prices went up or your house prices went down.
Correct.
This year, almost everybody I know has said that their house prices have gone up. And in fact, I'm on the Government Affairs Committee for the board, the Sedgwick County Realtors Association. And I got this question, so we'll start off with the hard one.
Okay, we're going to do the hard one first.
Yes. So this is from John McKenzie at Coldwell Baker Plaza. He says a recent reappraisal process has shown across the board increases of 59% of homeowners in the range of 6 to over 8%. And such an increase is not only punitive for many homeowners, it is unreasonable. With the property tax mill levy cap restricted at 2%, isn't this just another way to get the tax increase without touching mill levies?
Well, that's a good question.
Right.
The thing I want to break apart is the role of the appraiser's office.
Okay.
The appraiser's office only deals with the market value of the property.
Okay.
Now, the taxes that a property owner pays is done by is the governmental bodies who take from the properties, the assessments, the total assessments. Okay. As long as we have our values at market value, and the state requires to be at 90 to 110% of market value,
Okay.
or reflection of, then we're fine. We have no say-so in the taxes or the tax levies that are put against those values. And the opposite is those governmental bodies that make the tax levies have no say-so in the values that we create
Okay.
or we produce.
So you're saying that's more of a checks and balances?
More of a checks and balances,
the way
right?
it's supposed to be.
Right, because people, we get a lot of that, in our office. Well, you came down, you raised our property taxes. Well, yes and no. We didn't have any say in the levy part of the tax question or the tax equation. We have a say-so in the value of the home, the market value.
So you're saying if we don't like what our taxes are, to go talk to the legislative people
Well,
and our representatives?
That is one part of the equation. Now,
Okay.
if you don't agree with the value, if you don't feel that as of January 1, 2018, which is these value notices that came out to everybody, that's the date of the value. If you don't think you can get at least that much, if you were to put it on the market and try to sell it,
Right.
we want you to come and see us.
Okay.
We need you to come see us. Tell us why. There could be a lot of things. Property characteristics could be off. Maybe we don't have, maybe we have the basement showing as being finished, and it's not.
Right.
Come down, tell us. Bring us some pictures.
So on the back side of the form that you send out there, that gives you the instructions on how to
Right.
do that, correct?
Correct.
But there's a deadline coming up, correct?
There is a deadline. Yeah, those value notices were sent out on March 1st. So state statute requires, the property owner has 30 days from that date of notice to file that appeal.
So Friday.
Friday would be yes.
So Friday, if you don't like what your valuation was, not what you're paying in taxes, but if you don't like your valuation, call Bob. So, you're gonna have a whole bunch of phone calls when you get back. So my next question is, as an agent, I go out and I have to price a house.
Right.
And there are 3 ways that I price a house. One is by square foot, because I'm kind of a geek, and that's the way that the commercial typically does it, is so much per square foot.
Sure.
And then the other way is to take comparables of what has sold in the last 6 months, because that's the appraiser's method, and the appraiser is the final say, and we won't talk about appraisers today. And then they come out that you pay the $450 for, and then there's a tax appraisal.
Right.
And what I typically tell my buyers is your tax appraisal is typically 8 to 10% less than market value. So if my house is appraised at $90,000, I would add $9,000 to that typically, and put it on the market for $99,000. Is that a good formula to use?
I mean, it may work, may not work in every situation. I mean, reason our values are kind of lag behind is because the sales we use, we have to put a cutoff on the sales. You know, we don't really analyze October, November, December sales that have happened just because of time constraints. To get our product out there,
Okay.
it just takes that long.
So when the economy tanked a few years
Sure.
ago, and it tanked in October, so you had already shut off your valuations, so your
Right.
valuations for that next year were high.
Right.
And so if you notice on your valuations for 2012, almost everybody got a 3% deduction.
Right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, you know, where, you know, in a fee appraisal, a single property appraisal, you know, they're using real time, you know, sales that have happened within that month, maybe
Right.
two, and so that makes a
Right.
difference.
So what do you look for to raise or lower? Do you actually drive by the house, take a Google Pics like they do?
We do that. I mean,
Okay.
we do, the state requires us to physically inspect all property within a 6-year cycle, so once every 6 years, there will at least be somebody that comes by the property. We will stop by because of if the house has sold, you know,
Okay.
we'll come out and inspect. We have our appraisers go out and verify all those sales that takes place. We go out and we verify that sales transaction. If there was a building permit that was taken out on the property, we're gonna go out and pick up whatever was changed due to that building permit.
And that includes roofs. So I see that a lot on roofs.
Roofs, we don't typically go out and inspect because that's a common occurrence in Wichita
Okay.
with the amount of hail and everything we get. So, but, you know, anything else, you know, any type of addition, any type of
Garage
building, you name, wood deck being added, you know, we're gonna come out and pick up that.
So if you have to pull a permit for it, expect somebody from the county to be taking a photo of your house.
You can pretty much expect that.
And by the way, I really like the property cards that you guys do. So if
Thank
you
you.
haven't been on, you can get on www.sedgwickcounty.org and go to the government tab and then find the appraisal tab and then say, yes, you agree to all of their terms. And then you can look up your house and anybody else's house, because it's public information, and kind of get an idea of what's happening even in your own neighborhood. So if my house were valued at $90,000 and my neighbor's was priced at $140,000, but they were very similar homes, would I come in and question why?
You
or-
could question why. Equalization is also an important factor. I mean, especially if you're in a homogeneous neighborhood where all the homes are pretty similar, you shouldn't see that disparity. You know, there should be explainable. If not, I mean, equalization is a standpoint to appeal your value.
Because like the neighborhood I live in, which is a very eclectic neighborhood, I could buy a house for $20,000 and I could go 3 blocks away and buy a house for $200,000.
Right. Yeah, it gets-
So the valuation there gets to be very interesting.
Sure, right.
So I guess what else would you like to add to this?
Well, like I said, it's the appeal time, so if property owners aren't, want an explanation. I mean, maybe they don't even, you know, are concerned at the market value of the home, what it says on there. But if they want to know an explanation, have an explanation of how that value was established, come see us.
Okay. And you are located in the Ronald Reagan Building?
Correct. 271 West 3rd,
Okay.
5th floor.
Okay, and otherwise you just fill out the back of your information, but you've got to have it there by Friday.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. We're going to have Eric Mabee, our constant guest, but he's going to come talk about an interesting project he's doing at the Muse, and he'll be our guest next week. And happy April. It'll be April.